Hey guys, Mr. Nichols here. I just wanted to really quickly walk you through some of the calculations that we're going to need to do today for percentages in our population of M&Ms from the activity that we started working through today. So you should have left things off by counting up your total number of M&Ms, which if you were not here, you're welcome to just use my numbers here. That's totally fine. So you should have come up with our total number of M&Ms that were each color, each of our parts of our population, and then we had the total size of our population. So if we added all of these individual values together, that should have given us our total. So we do 3 plus 5 gives us 8, plus 1 gives us 9, plus 1 gives us 10, plus 6 gives us 16, plus 2 gives us 18. So that's where our total of 18 came from right here. Now, when we're looking at calculating the percentages, okay, a percentage is going to be a part compared to a whole. So if you wanted to figure out what percentage of students in our classroom were wearing jeans, for example, we would need to count up the total number of people wearing jeans and then the total number of people that are in our classroom, and then we would compare the two. We would divide our part divided by our whole. If you wanted to figure out what percentage you got for a score on a quiz, and let's say you scored an 8 out of 10, right? You would do 8 divided by 10, and that gives you the relationship between those two numbers. So we're going to do the exact same thing here, where we're going to take our part, so 3. Okay, I'm going to find a darker marker for us here. Let's try this one. That's a little better. So 3 divided by 18, because that's our part divided by our whole. I'm also going to draw this a little larger over here in case you have a hard time seeing that. So 3 divided by 18. If we do that, 3 divided by 18, that's going to give us 0.166667. You do not need to include all of those decimal values. You can just round that to 0.167. Let's go to the third decimal place. That's always a safe bet. Okay, now you might be sitting there wondering, that doesn't look much like a percentage. That's because that is a decimal value. So a decimal value is essentially telling you similar information as a percentage, except the scale is just different. So a decimal value, 100%, would be 1.01. But on a percent scale, 100% is 100%, right? So what we need to do to convert it from a decimal to a percentage is we're going to multiply this value. This marker's falling on me too. They're dropping like flies. All right, here we go. Let's try this one. There we go. That's a little better. All right, so we're going to multiply that times 100, and that's going to give us 16.7%, which another way to write that, if we multiply that by 100, is going to be 16.7%. So that is our percentage for the red M&Ms in our total population. So if you need, feel free to go back and check that out. And then I would like for you to follow through those calculations through this entire column. So you should fill this column with all of your different colors that you had by the beginning of class on Tuesday. So, little pro tip, if you add all of your percentages up, it should equal approximately 100%. You might get like 100.02 or something like that, or 99.8. That can happen because of the rounding that we did here. So don't panic if that happens, but it should be pretty close to 100%. So if you guys have any further questions, feel free to reach out, and I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Take care, everybody.